Hello, and welcome to this new tutorial. In the previous videos, we created our basic navigation system for our lobby. We have also prepared a basic widget to display user account information. Today, we will start using the Easy OSS plugin to interact with the authenticated user account. In the Player Info widget, we have already created 3 texts representing the user name, user ID, and user auth token. We're going to duplicate the borders to add even more user account information. Duplicate a border and change the text to be user real name. Now I will show you what the plugin offers you to manage the user account. In the category Easy OSS, under Account, you will have all the functions and tasks that you can use to manage the user account. Note: you should always note that the features provided by Easy OSS depend on the target platform, so not all online subsystems support the features. We have already used some user account functionality when we used login and auto login in previous videos. The node getOSSPlayer nickname returns the username of the authenticated local player. The node getOSSPlayer unique ID returns the unique user ID of the authenticated local player. The node getOSSPlayer auth type returns the authentication type of the authenticated local player. For this node, I want to add a new entry in the widget. The node getOSSPlayer account returns the nickname, user ID, player real name, and auth token of the authenticated local player. It takes the user ID as parameter. The node getOSSPlayer accounts returns a list of nickname, user ID, and auth token of the authenticated local players. It is useful when you have multiple local players on the same machine. There are also other nodes dedicated to cross-platform. For example, when you use EOS Plus with Steam, I will not use them for now. There are also other nodes not supported by EOS subsystem. I let you read their description. For example, this node returns the auth token of the linked account, for example when you used your Steam account to connect to the EOS Games service. This node returns you the platform-specific unique ID for the sponsor of the specified player. For this EOS tutorial, I will only work with these nodes. The getOSSPlayer account node returns most of the account information we need. You can at any time use both getNickname and getUserID nodes to have easy access to the player's IDs. For this tutorial, I will identify the player by a card containing all possible information. Follow me to create this card together. The best practice is to store the player card in a place where it can be called at any time and from any object. The best place is the game instance. In the game instance, create a function and name it f_getPlayerInfo. This function should return a structure containing all the user account information. Go back to the widget and copy the selected nodes, then paste them into the function. Go back to the Player Info folder. Create a folder and name it Player Card. Create a blueprint structure and name it s_player card. Then add the following elements to it. Return to the game instance function, then add a return node with an output of type s_player card. Drag the output pin, then make a structure. Then connect the pins to the corresponding information. Back to the widget, we will update the texts according to the player card. we must first have a reference to the game instance. I will use a cast for now. Call the function getPlayerInfo of GameInstance, then break the output. Now set all texts to the corresponding info. Now I will test with an authenticated player to verify the result. As you see, we have the player information. If you notice, EOS subsystem does not support the real name of the user. For that, we have an empty line. You can go to the logs and see the warning displayed by the subsystem. The UI is not too nice. We need to work on it. I did a quick test with a cast. However, I'm not a fan of casting. It consumes memory. Plus, it's annoying to do a cast every time you need it. Instead, I will use a blueprint interface. Create an interface in the game instance folder, then give it a name like by_GameInstance. If you don't know what is the blueprint interface, it's an object that allows easy communication between blueprint objects instead of casting. Open the interface and then create a function, then name it getPlayerInfo. For this function, add an output of type S_player card. Go back to the game instance, click on Class Settings. In the Implemented Interfaces, add this new interface. You should see a new interface appearing in the menu bar on the left. Double-click on the Interface function and implement the logic. Now go back into the widget and remove the cast to use the interface instead. Like this, you can call this function whenever you need it. Select the code, then collapse it to function. Name this function f_updatePlayerInfo. Test your implementation to verify the result. There you go, everything is working as it should. Now I'm going to improve the UI. Follow me if you're interested. However, you can customize it yourself if you want. I want to add a new entry to the widget, so in the player card, the product user ID, it is a limited information to Epic accounts for the EOS subsystem. In the interface function, call the function named getOSSPlayerProductUserID from unique ID. This is a function limited to EOS subsystem only. The product user ID is a part of the user ID for the EOS subsystem. We need this ID later, when we discover the use of voice chat. Another entry that we will add to the player card is the sponsor ID. This function is not supported by EOS, but we will add it anyway, for other OSS later. Additionally, another entry for the platform ID, usually it represents the local player number on the machine. We need to update the structure for these three entries. Now connect the corresponding pins. Now we need to update the UI to add these three elements. Just duplicate the border and change the texts. Now go to the Update Player Info function to update the values. We will now test the implementation. As you see, we have no value for the real name and the platform sponsor ID because they are not supported by EOS OSS. If you look at the product user ID, you can see that it is part of player ID. The UI still needs some work, but I'm happy with the result. Well, this is not a UI design tutorial. It's just to show you the context of the plugin. That's all for today. See you in the next video.